Hello and welcome. This is Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, I'm sharing some chip themed cards with fun texture. I'm using this Chip Hooray stamp set from Pajama Crafter stamps. Now this is a set I haven't used before, so the very first thing I do when I use a set that is new is I use a white eraser on the stamping surface. This just removes any possible manufacturing residue, helps the stamps take ink a little bit better. I do it for every set that I use. When I use the first stamp from that set, I just do the entire set. So I know if I've used a stamp, I've done it. Now I am watercoloring my cards, so I'm using some watercolor cardstock. The cardstock I'm using in this video is from Arches. I'm almost at the end of this pad, so I was trying to use it up, as well as the fact that I really like the texture for this, for the chip theme, because they have a little bit of a rough texture to them, but you can use your favorite watercolor. It doesn't matter what kind of cardstock you use as long as it's watercolor cardstock when you're watercoloring. I used a little bit of embossing powder tool on my cardstock before stamping the images with VersaMark ink, and I'm using my Misti stamping tool so that I can stamp them multiple times in the same place to make sure that I have a nice, crisp, clean, full stamped image. And then I am embossing them with some Walnut stain Distress Glaze. Now I often use Distress Glaze when I want colored images or colored lines for my images, and that's the main reason why I'm using that for this. I don't have any other brown embossing powder, and I thought black was going to be a little bit too stark against the different images, so I thought the brown would be absolutely perfect, and I love the final result. It has a nice glossy finish to it. The thing with Glaze, I was just asked this recently, so I figured I'd mention it here. Glaze is transparent embossing powder, so if you were to stamp a, say, a little bit more solid image on printed paper, you'd be able to see some of that print through it, depending on how dark or how light the glaze is. But mainly when I'm using it for the color, and I typically do most of my embossing for sentiments or for stamped images that I intend to watercolor. So here I'm using the other two images from the set as well as another one of the sentiments, and I love that there's a really large variety of sentiments in this set. This is just a fun, unique theme to a stamp set. I'm doing birthday cards here. You could do it for whatever theme you want. You could even turn this into a New Year's Eve or a New Year's invite card if you want, with the chips and dip. I think that would be fun as well. So for my second image, I am also stamping it with the VersaMark ink, and I'm also embossing it with that Walnut stain Distress Glaze so that my images are the same colored outline for both cards. And again, I just really liked the walnut stain for these particular images. So after stamping that image a few times, I pour that powder on top of it and then heat emboss it with my heat tool to melt that powder in place. Now I chose the Arches watercolor for this just because it has a cream finish to it. I think it's going to work well with the brown lines for the images, as well as it's going to work well for the images or the chip sort of theme to it. I thought it was going to be nice with that. Now I am using some Distress watercolor pencils for this watercoloring. I am using set number 4. I'm only watercoloring with 5 different colors here. These images are really simple, so you don't need a ton of colors to them, but you can watercolor with other mediums if you choose. The first color I'm using is Scattered Straw. I chose this set specifically for the Scattered Straw. I thought that was going to be the perfect color to do the chips in, and I figured I could find enough colors within this set to do the rest of the images in this set, and I absolutely love the Scattered Straw for those chips. So when I use these watercolor pencils, typically I use it with my water brush and pull the color right from the tip of the pencil. You could use that pencil to color in the image on your watercolor paper and then use your water brush to dissolve that pigment and brush it around. I do find I prefer this method though, because sometimes when I've watercolored them, the pencils are quite hard, especially if it's one that I hadn't used before or I hadn't used in a long time. And sometimes especially if you're doing it hard or trying to get a darker tone, you get pencil marks on there. So by doing it this way, I can get dark tones and light tones, and I don't have to worry about pencil marks. After finishing with that Scattered Straw, I'm using some festive berries on the gifts for the second chip here. I'm using it for his gift as well as the birthday hat that he's wearing. I'm also going to be using it on the shoes of the opposite chip and then the bowl for the other image. I also used some ground espresso watercolor pencil for the hands for the chips. I thought they should be a different color than the actual chip themselves, but you could use the Scattered Straw on there if you want to. Now, anytime I'm watercoloring, I try to pay attention to where it should be dark and where it should be light. I kind of imagine where the light would be coming from, and the opposite side of that is where it would be darker, where it would be shaded. For the bowl, there's going to be shading around all of the edges, and then it's just a little bit lighter in the center. And then for those chips, they're a little bit lighter towards the top, but they're darker where that edge flips over the other edge. So once I'm done with that festive berries, I'm going to go in with some chipped sapphire and do the opposite lines for the birthday hat. It's got a striped hat to it, so I'm using both the red as well as the blue on there. And then I'm also going to use that blue for the shoes that that particular chip is wearing. The last color that I'm going to be using is Mowed Lawn. It's a green color. There's little chopped herbs or whatnot on top of that dip, so I'm just going to color them with green because I kind of thought they would be either like green onions or parsley or something. So I was going to leave my dip just plain colored, but I thought I would add just a little bit of shading to it. So I am doing that with that scattered straw. I'm trying to make it a lot lighter than the chips themselves, so it just has a little bit of a color, but not too much. I don't need a whole lot of color here because I'm putting this opaque matte texture paste on top. I'm only putting a very thin coat. The purpose of this texture paste is to add the texture of dip, if you will, on that image. I just thought it would add some interest to it and make it look a little bit more realistic, just a little bit more interesting. Sometimes I find watercolored images tend to be a little bit flat, so I always love finding different ways to add different texture to them. One of the ways is heat embossing my images because it does make it easier to watercolor, but I also like the contrast of the shiny lines with those watercolored images. So this is only going on top of that dip inside the bowl. I'm trying to be as careful as possible with the end of my palette knife. I'm holding it in a way that I don't normally hold it, and that's just because I want to have a little bit more controlling where that texture, what that texture looks like, and kind of trying to go within the lines of that stamped image so that the peaks and valleys, if you will, match that. For the other image, I just add a little bit of Stardust Stickles to the ribbon on the gift as well as the puff thing on the top of the party hat. You could use a colored here, or you could even use metallic gel pens if you want. I just thought that Stardust, it wasn't going to add any color to it. It's just going to add that extra bit of sparkle and that extra bit of texture. Now the last step is using the Walnut or the ground espresso watercolor crayon just to put a little bit of shading underneath each of these images so they don't look like they're floating in the middle of air. I'm not putting a ton of color here. The color is darker towards the edge of that bowl, and then it fades out to nothing. And same with the shadow underneath the chips. They're darker right by the shoes, and then they fade out to nothing. It just makes them look like they're standing on a surface rather than floating in nowhere. So these images are done. I let them dry for an hour so that that texture paste could completely dry and that Stickles could completely dry before trimming them down for my cards. I'm going to do the mats on both cards the same color. So I'm using some Truffle Cardstock here. I'm trimming that down to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then I am trimming my image pieces to 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. So when I stamped and embossed these images, I centered them in the middle of the cardstock, and the cardstock was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm trimming 1/4 inch off of each side. It just makes it nice and easy, and that way I know they're going to be centered in the middle of that piece there. So I have 2 A2 card bases that I'm going to put these pieces on. I'm gluing everything with some Barely Art glue. I have it in a fine line bottle, so it works perfectly for gluing cards together, but if I were to glue die cuts together, this works perfectly for that as well. And then I have a large acrylic block that I often use to hold things down nice and flat while I'm gluing things together. It just frees up my hands for working on other things while things are drying. And I've had it for years. I used to use it for stamping, but it doesn't get used for stamping anymore. So at least this way, it still has a purpose to it. So once I have that first card done, I work and do the same thing to the second card. Now I want to stamp some sentiments on the inside of the cards that coordinate with the front of the card. So this one is the chip and dip one, and it says I'm a big dip on the front. And then on the inside, it says, sorry, I missed your birthday. I thought that worked well together. I like the fact that this set has a lot of different sentiment choices, but it also has different scales to it. So this one is a bit of a smaller scale to the one on the front. The second card, it said chip, chip, Hooray, and then I'm just putting a sentiment on the inside that says happy birthday. There's a couple that would work well with this, so you could do whatever you want. One says good for you, one says happy birthday, and one says it's your birthday. Because of the gift as well as the party hat, I thought it worked well to do it as a birthday card. You could use just the chip that doesn't have the gift and the party hat and use some of the other sentiments for it as well. But I thought the two chips together worked well together, as well as filled the space on the front of the card a little bit better. So here is the finished card with those two chip images, the chip hooray, and then it's your birthday, and then the second one with the bowl of dip with that texture paste on it that just looks fantastic, as well as the sentiment on the front and the inside. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate the time that you spend with me. I hope you have a fantastic day.